Hello and welcome to Warblog. This is going to be just a straight playthrough, so without any preamble. I'm going to try to do it quite quickly. I'm not going to do a lot. I just feel like having a little blast on it. Also, I got the other one which includes a preamble, but also has some gameplay. So I'll probably be reiterating exactly what I did before. But I looked at it and I thought, it's one of those sort of things where you think, well, I wish I could have had some thought put into it. So I'm trying to play with the fact that I've had a bit of a think about it. And again, I think I'd like to sort of create little sort of operational groups. Now, I do have some air power, so I reread the thing, and the Americans are supporting their operations, and this isn't sort of a full-out operation. So, I mean, I might not even get past the first turn again. I just sort of feel like doing it. So what we did down here, we got these two together. Now, when I watched the video again, what I sort of making clear is when you stack them up above 5, the irregular units can't attack you with the bonus that they get. So if this irregular unit attacked that, it would be a 5 to 4. It should just be over 1 to 1, but it's better than 1 to 4. If I stacked it up with an 8, they can't get that, so it'd be 1 to 8. So that's one of the prime strategies. Another thing I didn't do, it's a bit hard to sort of consider really at this moment, but I'm not sure what to do about this unit here. Now they've obviously just come down here and blasted their way through here, but I think you've got to sort of think, is that actually a strong position? Now obviously they want to connect, so I'm doing really well at not doing anything. So the Al Tabak Dam is an objective as well, and it's probably one of the first ones that you might try and do, but they've got two lots of air defence in there, some insurgents, which is basically nothing, and a motorised unit, so I could actually try and attack that. And to be quite honest, I hadn't even considered that, but basically when you look at the actual odds, because I could get that unit in from there, possibly bring in some units from here. What I was trying to do to achieve out of this gameplay is to actually be more methodical and to actually sort of consider what the objectives are. So, for example, I did quite well with this hex, and I could try that again. I formed up a line along here, and I could maybe do that again. I did quite a good attack against the rockets here, and I could do that again. But it's really more to sort of try and think about it more methodically. Because obviously, and I did point out that this is like a division up here, not a full division, but let me just start moving these ones down. But this is like the punch. Everything could be centered around what these units actually do, because they're so big. We've got that unit underneath to move as well. I can remember that. Reload, because I do want to do that. So that battalion there. See, I'm going to pause it for a minute, and I'm going to maybe try and only record when I make decisions. Well, it didn't take long, but I think my first decision is to, and this isn't historic, but I think its first decision is actually going to be to take this dam. And I didn't put these units in with any particular intention of doing anything. So this is the town of Al Tabqa, and it's fortified. They've already taken the air base, and the dam is the strategic objective, but this is fortified mainly because it's a town, and it's probably been, fortified with earthworks, that is. But what I'm going to try and do is bring whatever I can to bear on this stack here, because there's only air defence in there, insurgents, which would be quite nice to get rid of, and a motorised company, and that's all they've got. One other thing to possibly bear in mind is a lot of the ISIS units are actually, for example this, are companies as opposed to irregulars. There's some irregulars there, but the majority of what they got are the companies, are the units that actually suffer when you hit them. Like this unit down here, I mean, when I beat it, it was eliminated. So I think I'm going to go for that. And the reason I'm going to sort of try and do that is because I don't like leaving this unit down here. I mean, he's worth 4, but you can get 2, 4, 6, 8, so that would be 2 to 1. So there's no reason why he can't get a sort of 3 to 1 odds against that. He could probably bring in some more. He could probably beat that unit. Now I can get this unit here, down here. I can replace that battalion there. So that's all that sort of placed. But if I recall, this unit now what we've got there. See, I want to move him into there. But I think I'm going to move him there. I'm going to move all these units into here, mainly because I don't want to leave anything on its own. The question is, do I want to use air power on that? Well, let's just look at the odds first. No artillery support. So we've got 2, 3, 4. We've got 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 3, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1, 7 to 1 without air support. So I'm just going to do it. DE. Let me just go back. So the insurgents didn't rate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So none of them retreated anywhere. Still got lots of movement. So we've pretty much taken the dam. What have we got in there? More air defence, artillery, irregulars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18. It's tempting to try and do it, but I just don't think I've got the manpower. 1, 2, 2, 4, 8, 10, 12. No. Okay, I'm going to pause it for a second there. Okay, well, so I think that's one strategic operation. I mean, just put it in perspective, I'm not going to do this immediately, but I've got a long-term objective of producing some strategy guides. And I'm not sure whether I will ever do it. I was going to sell them on Amazon as books. Sort of the Kindle things that you can buy, make a bit of money. But I thought they'd be interesting, and it'd be an interesting sort of objective, so I'd set up basically a game. But this would be how this would work. So you'd possibly have some screenshots, you know, the say Raqqah 2017, the the early capture of whatever it is, Al Tapqa Dam, as a sort of a strategy attempt. You know, it can be done on the first turn using these units, etc., etc. And then the pros and cons of, say, doing that as opposed to maybe trying to take out Turkey. And actually, you know, just playing it and working it through as a strategy, and then, because something like this could probably take quite a while to play, a minute to learn and a lifetime to master, so to speak. And but you know, I mean, that is a particular strategy element. Now here we could have the, you know, as a first turn thing, we could have what I did last time. Again, I got a DE, but there's no reason for it because it was only 3-to-1 odds, I think. So and this time I got, so it's 5-to-1. This time I got a DR. So that wasn't as great, but it means I'm stacked up now, which means I can defend myself against in irregular attacks. So that's sort of this section all done. There's the preparation of the division down here for the main assaults. We've got this battalion up here. So the rest, these are all moved up as well. So the rest is now this sort of northern theatre, or the northwestern theatre, then the northeastern theatre, and then the eastern theatre. You know, I'm talking about sort of making strategy out of the, you know, out of the game by analysing all the options, which is sort of what I'm doing at the moment. But I might do 3 or 4 of these videos and stitch them together, because you can't have more than an hour video in YouTube. It's probably just as well. But so that's that particular thing now. I mean, I don't know. I still, what's this one here? So this is the southeast Juma offensive to take out these units here. Now I could still do that. So let me just put it in pause. Let me have a think. Okay, well, I haven't really thought of much, but I think I'm going to do this southeast Juma attack. Pretty much going to do exactly what I did last time. I think I'm going to probably do this this Tal Fatisha assault on these on this little unit here. I don't want to do too much else because I don't really want to sort of push what I'm doing. And the other thing I didn't convey in the other video, I think, is that, and I might have got the balance wrong, I know I said that, but when ISIS get to do their attack, if they start hurting these units, they might not be able to do it. You know, we've got to be very careful about achieving defender eliminators like there and actually picking elements where we can get rid of the units, because there's no point in just pushing things back, getting exchanges. We can't afford to have any exchanges, any losses on any of these units. We just don't have enough units, whereas they've got tons of units. So we'll see whether or not this is actually a viable game. I can always adjust it, but I'm going to try this. I mean, I think a lot of this will become apparent when I do the first ISIS turn. Okay, well, I'm going to leave the rest of this east till I finish this battle here, but I'm going to do this attack. So we should get some artillery in there. Really pound that stuff. So we're down to 3.8. Oops, 3.8, 5, 6.5. 6.5, I'm correct. And 5. So I should now be able to do this and hopefully get a DE. Yep, a DE. So, which is better than what we had before. But before we had the ability, because he retreated there, had the ability to do a follow-on. And it's coming up to 15 minutes, so I'm going to call it a break. But I'm going to try and do a few more. So stay tuned. Okay, well, I've sort of figured out that, well, it's going to be interesting to get to the ISIS turn. I can't even imagine what they might start trying to do. So we've done our Iqba Dam, our Tabqa Dam assault, the Al Mushraifa attack, and the Juma, southeast Juma assault. So along here, I don't want to do any attacks, but I'm trying to sort of think, well, what will ISIS do? Now they've got air defence in there, and they've got irregulars. They've got irregulars there and there. These irregulars can potentially find a weaker unit. Now, I'm not sure what they can do against these. So I'm going to try and I think it has to be more than 5. Everything there, I think. These are going to take a long time to get anywhere. So the only thing is, what do I do with this unit? I think what I'm going to do, so I've positioned everything. Now I've got some air power here, and I'm a bit loath to use it actually, because what I'm sort of also thinking is, well, there's a lot of anti-aircraft, and how effective is it? Would it be better off trying to keep my air assaults down here where there's less air defence? So I've got rid of 2 air defence units there, but he's got 2 more units in there, but that might be it. You know, there's no more air defence around here. And I do want to harass these units. Now this unit's already taken some depressions, but I don't want to start wasting it. Now I could use it against this unit here, and there's air defence in there, but if you think about it, I would get that air defence. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, let's just see where the air defence is by actually. How much has he got? I mean, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back to game. I don't want to fly my only airplane over all of that. Now this is an irregular unit. They're hard to damage. There, I'd get 2. So I don't want to commit him yet. But I'm sort of thinking these things, you know, where do I use it, and how can I get rid of this all this air defence capability as soon as possible. So now I've got one assault that I could do into there. I'm tempted to do that. And I've got an assault along this line that I could possibly do. Last time I did it against this unit with their rockets. That's quite heavily defended in there. I think I'm going to go for these rockets again. And I'm tempted to do that. Decisions. I'm just going to jump and just do it because I want to keep the pace up at least. I'm looking out for the 2.6, that's good. So he should be on 3 now. 4. 7 to 1. Die rolled a 2, that was a DE. So that was good. So I just destroyed an ISIS company and a rocket company. That's better than obviously than a defender retreat. And the thing is, I think for the whoever these are, the Syrian Democratic Forces, I think they've really got to be sort of trying to aim for at least doing sort of attacks that are going to at least give them the option for a good prospect defender eliminated, because there's just so many units they need to do that. It's not going to be a case of just pushing units back. I mean, if we had larger numbers, we could maybe try and surround bulks of units, but I think after this turn it's going to start to really take a different shape. Now I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to advance, just for the sake of keeping the speed up. So what have we got there? 3, 4, 5 versus 17. So it's going to be a 3 to 1 with possibly an adjustment on that because of the armour. So I'm just going to do it. Well, I was thinking it's a bit hasty, but okay. And I'm going to use my airstrike down here on that. So there was one bit of bad news in that whole turn, and that airstrike is pretty much wasted unless he moves. Okay. So moving swiftly on. I don't want to advance in anywhere. I really wish I'd got that, because that would have given me a nice little punch in there. I mean, remember, that could have been a DE. That would have been nice. Okay. So now, this is where we get to the sort of the other side of the equation. I mean, look, ISIS have even got their drones. Even got drones. So, what do you do if you're ISIS? Well, we've got this problem down here. I'm going to have a pause and think. Okay, well, it's stupendous. I sort of think that I could probably spend the rest of the 45 minutes or the 30 minutes, the rest of this video on the ISIS turn. The question down here, I think, for the ISIS player is, do they want to really try and commit everything to taking that stack out? It's a possibility, but one of the reasons that I've got that there is they probably won't be able to take both of these stacks out, so I'll be able to retreat, and they're probably not going to get a defender eliminated. So the question is, what do they do down here? And I just don't know. Do they try and harass this unit? It's not that likely, but we've got artillery, rockets, but what we do have, and this might be the thing to be sort of looking at first, are the insurgent units, for example this lot here. So now what we want to be doing with those, now they got hurt, they're going to have to do nothing if they want to recover next turn. But we've got some insurgents, and I'm not sure whether they'll activate on the first turn, so let's just see. No, they don't activate on the first turn. Okay. Now, the question is shuffling around. Do I shuffle things around? Where do I want to keep a front line as the ISIS player? Well, I think that's a natural front line that we're already pushed up against to some extent there. And then basically from there across down to there is going to be the fallback line. So the question to some extent is, does ISIS have the ability to hurt any of these units at this moment? You know, are there any sort of things that we can do that will jump out and take a unit out? And the answer really is no. looking at it from this perspective, the Syrian Democratic Forces look pretty tough. I wish we didn't have this problem with the first turn on the insurgents, because it would be really nice to start using them. But I can do rocket attacks. I think that that's going to be something to try and take out. So let's see what we can get. So we can get quite a bit of no effect, no effect. No, ISIS don't want to be having no effect, no effect. 0.3, 0.6. No effect, no effect, no effect. Wow. 1.5 on this armour. That was a lucky hit. So that's the first loss of the game, really, because now they're at 2.8. Oh, look at that, 2.8. That was 5.6. Now that unit, that failure to make that assault has come in dearly. Now, I mean, even if we wanted to make an assault against that, that's 8, 12, 17. So we'd be at 3, 6, 9, 10. So we'd be at like 1 to 3. We can't attack that stack. So the question is, what are we going to lose next turn? For example, this unit, we can't really leave it there, because if we leave it there, it will, he'll move in there, and that will be the next target, or this will be the next target. So these are vulnerable units. So we really have to sort of start pulling things back. But every time we pull something back, it means, that will become the vulnerable unit. So it's interesting from that perspective. Now that is about as vulnerable as it gets. Vulnerable unit there, maybe. Well, let's see what we can do down here. The rocket attack. Oh, that was nice. And got some artillery fire. Okay. Well, the Syrian Democratic Forces don't actually have any air defence, which is interesting. Now, they do use their air drones. I was actually looking at something. See if I can find it. Okay, I've got what I was looking for. Essentially, it's this Trump administration to sell Nigeria planes for Boko Haram fight. These are awesome little planes. They've got little bomb things underneath, prop jets. It's probably very easy to maintain. Petrol engine. There's this big sort of thing about Syria and Iraq, buying MiG aircraft. For what? To fight ISIS. They don't have anything to fight back with. So something like this is really easy to maintain. You could probably buy these by the thousands without really hurting any sort of major defence budgets. The reason I'm sort of saying that is because configuring a sort of air defence capability isn't actually that difficult. I mean, and it wouldn't surprise me if ISIS do not have small prop planes like that. They must be littering the country. We never hear of ISIS, taking up really easy to build, maintain aircraft like that. They're not difficult to make. There's going to be thousands of them around. But anyway, so we've got some ISIS drones, and these are just remote control planes. And I think we're going to try and take out, or at least do some more damage to this. Well, every little helps. And just because I want to add a little variety to it all, I'll try this stack here. So it's good to get a whole stack, because I get a lot of them. So 0.71, there's all good results. Anyway, coming up to another break, a few seconds left, but so I'll come back and take it to the next quarter. Okay, Well, I've been considering things, and obviously there's two theatres. There's the south of the river and north of the river. Even down here, I'm not sure there's much we can really do. But up here, there's not much that can really be done. What's that? 5. I'm looking at a 1-to-1 against that. Now, what ISIS I think want to be doing is dragging the fatigues, depressions of the SDF down, because they just don't have the numbers. So that was a big blow. You know, I mean, that unit, that armoured battalion, is at 5.75, and it's at 3.4. You know, that was a strike force that, you know, tried to actually take that out, and it's pretty much knackered now, which is a big blow. And if they can keep doing that, so the 1-to-1s might be worthwhile. Now, and I'm beginning to sort of take a liking to that strategy. I'm going to put these irregulars there. And the reason I'm doing that is because they'll have to be fought through, and they will probably just retreat. Now, that's one of the big advantages of irregular units. They will retreat more often than not. 75% chance they just retreat and not be defender eliminated. But I'm actually going to use the ISIS strategy of just trying to sort of take out as many 1-to-1s where possible. There's a lot of units in there. My God, they've even got chemical weapons. Okay, we've got anti-tank, so where's the tanks? Got some tanks down there. think ISIS is going to be really tough to crack. We've got armour in here as well. Right. Okay. And try and push some sort of what we've got in there. Yeah, I'm going to try and put some artillery into there. Look at all that. Chemical weapons. 0.3. 2.7. 0.4, 1.7. 2.4, so he's down to 5.8. Well, again, I think that the Syrian Democratic Forces are going to be pretty hard pressed to win here. So, about 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd probably get a 3 or 4 to 1 against that. DR. Well, that's the sort of result that Syrian Democratic Forces don't want at all. I don't think they can win. Not if they can keep sort of that level of damage up. Some rockets. Okay, and then everyone else. Five to 1 DE. Now, I'm not going to use the air defense against that because really I shouldn't be able to, so I'm just going to play ethically and not use that. 2 to 1 in exchange. So I mean, the thing is, I don't care about the exchanges. That's just, you know, depression against that unit there. One to 1. It doesn't matter because they're now that, you know, pushing these are tougher stacks. These are sort of relatively easy. A lot of artillery to prep it up. What can we get against this? Well, if we've got artillery in range, I think I'd rather use it against that stack there. I've only got 2. 0.5. You can't get anywhere near ISIS without being pummeled with their artillery. Long range firepower. Like a porcupine. Okay, so we're going to get some rockets against that. Some artillery against that. Sending you up to 3. And that's 6 to 1. taken a real pounding. Okay, we've got a lot of units down here. I'm going to try and move these across land. Okay, I'm going to try and attack. Let's see what we can get sort of here. It's going to be worth 8, 2, 4, 5, 6. It'll be a 1 to 2. So much have we done there. Here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Possibly get a 1 to 1 there. Probably not. Times 0.1, 2, 3, 4 times 0.4. Possibly get a 1 to 1 against that. Well, I think they're really going for those sorts of odds, so I can't use the anti-air aircraft. I've got the surround. They're a bit depressed. Be hit and miss. I think it's going to be a 1 to 1. 2 to 1. Bloody hell. Well, an exchange. Well, that's what they want. You know, they really want to just keep pushing the depression of these units up. What can we get against that? We were 5. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that'll be a 1 to 1. A DR. Yeah, well. I think he got a bit more. Okay, well, this is the last sort of session, because I can only add up to an hour on YouTube and I don't really want to do much more than that. I'm pretty sure that the SDF need to be tougher, and I think I'm going to give them more artillery, and I'm going to give them some US Special Forces, because I'm pretty sure they keep saying that they're around there, and some more ground units, but not too much, just sort of edge it up a bit. I mean, they've already taken a pounding there, but I think a pounding there and there, you know, 7.8 depression, 9.2. I mean, those are dead. Those are dead. These are taking a hit. I mean, even these, depression 3 for that, you know, it's just, you've really got to be careful about the approach. And I think another thing that sort of maybe that I was thinking about, and again, this is a big game, it's not something you can just play like this and sort of whiz through it. It's going to take hours. And a lot of it's not sort of gameplay in the sense that, because you're never always going to be getting nearer and nearer. I mean, what the point I'm trying to get to here is, I think the thing to do would be to fall back and to create a line across there, out of range of their artillery. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it'd be a long way off. But the thing is, if you fall back, it would then force ISIS to advance further forward, and you'd actually end up with a situation that's quite realistic, because they're not going to want to, because they're going to sit there, you're going to sit over there, they're not going to be able to get those attacks in, it'll be an artillery duel. But you know, it's not a gamey thing to do, to sort of just retreat, but it would be a sensible and I think an intelligent thing, and to be quite honest, a fulfilling and rewarding strategy to play, in order to sort of, you know, try and get a grasp, not so much what is really happening, but how to play this particular game. You know, I mean, what I'm saying, the simple answer is, it's not about just attacking and keeping up a momentum and getting this unit next, getting that unit. It's not a game of Sudoku. You can play like that. I'm going to try and finish off the ISIS turn, but I think they've pretty much done everything they can. They're not going to attack there. They've tried there, got an exchange. Down here, there's not much they can do there. They rebuff there. They can't do anything there. I don't think there's any point in attacking that. There's too much there. We've done this. We've got an exchange. It could have been better. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that, just because I do feel the game's a bit of a loss. But let's just see what the SDF can do. I mean, you've got to remember, next turn they'll have their insurgents in play as well. So we've got this little theatre here. We've got the Tabqa Dam. I think along here we really need to consider what we can actually do. There's just too many of them. We've lost huge chunks of significant firepower. You know, and these are just companies, they're not going to do anything. I mean, what have we actually got in there? So there's going to be a defensive 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we could get a 1-to-1, possibly strain towards a 2-to-1, possibly put in some artillery fire, you know, and then that would be, you know, about as good as that's going to get. What we've got down here, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, so we can get maybe a 2-to-1 there. We come in, destroy this unit. What can we do? See, I don't think there's any point, because we can't really get those overwhelming odds. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to fall back. And the reason I'm falling back there because I want to sort of paint a clear picture of how things could be. Now I'm going to draw some air power in here. The mission was aborted. No effect. 0, 0, no effect. The mission was aborted. That was interesting. That's all that anti-aircraft. How much artillery can we get in there? 1. So let's get that in there. 0.4, 0.6. So yeah, been a. Oh yeah, that's because they got an exchange before. And I'm now going to try and attack it. I'm not even going to count the odds. Oh God! I should have counted the odds. Every time I don't, it's, you know, I mean, it could have been something different. I mean, of course they're fortified, aren't they? That's what I wasn't thinking. I mean, that was just stupid. I mean, they're all swapped places. At least the attack rolls work. I mean, the retreat rolls. So I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to strain myself any further. We've still got an engagement there. You know, if they want to start chasing us, they're going to have to move further out. Now, they're not extending any lines of supply, but it means they're going to be, the lines are not going to be as dense, but I just don't think we have the units to actually fight them. I'm going to have to add more. It's not, the thing is, it becomes a bit sort of, well, I'm just going to keep adding more until you can. It's a walkover. I mean, the thing is, I think when I put it together, I did realise that the SDF might be a little bit under power. But you know, without putting it through the, without running it in like I'm doing now, it's hard to gauge that. And you know, you just have to look at all these units now. There's not too many of them, but they've got overwhelming rockets, and these rockets are not supposed to be as powerful as their artillery. These are just sort of like gas cylinders on sticks. You know, their artillery is, you know, should be. I mean, it's less range. You know, these have got 5 range, and these have got 4. They've just got so much of it. They've got the chemical weapons, they've got the anti-tank, they've got the insurgents. You know, these have yet to kick in. Now they're all available. You know, they're going to be coming out and blowing the car bombs up, and you know, it's going to be carnage. And you know, it's probably one of the reasons they're not actually doing it like that. I mean, we got off to such a good start, and I think again, if I was to do this again, I wouldn't maintain any front line. I mean, even this is too close because it's within artillery range. I think I'd stay, you know, a good distance out, and if ISIS want to come towards, you know, these lines, then fine, because then we can respond to that and possibly envelop, etc., etc. You know, I mean, even down here, it's not so much a loss, but I don't want to take these insurgent units. These units are now doubled up. I've got depressions. Just failed that attack. I mean, I could try this, you know, in there, but that's not really how I want to be playing it. Let me just try this. Okay. I mean, I think putting in another division over here and maybe one over here might change the odds, because that's what we need to be doing. We need something really big like that, moving around, stomping about. But even that, they've taken, they've taken damage from the artillery, and that's just going to move up. I don't know what I want to do really. I mean, game-wise, game sort of design-wise, because I don't want to just ramp it up so that it becomes simple and easy to do. But I don't want to make it impossible either, because I don't think it is. I don't think they're sitting around at Raqqah at the moment feeling, oh God, we don't have enough troops. I think what they're doing is sitting around, we don't want to just rush into this and then sort of, lose loads of people. I mean, they're just doing it bit by bit, as I sort of tried to reiterate right in the beginning. But you get close. I mean, this is not a simulation, so I don't want to sort of start thinking like that. But it's normal and natural to start sort of thinking, well, it is a simulation, but it's not. But I mean, just keeping that sort of close contact was just deadly. I mean, it just gave them the opportunity here. I mean, moving in there, I thought I could take that stack, and I mean, it was only a 2-to-1, so I had a good chance of at least doing something. But I got an exchange, and that left me sort of stuck there. And then they started, they got their firepower, they got their artillery onto that, and that's what's left of it. Depression 4.6, depression 6.7. That's. I mean, this one down here is. Once you start to look at it, it's not good. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it at that because I want to keep it less than an hour. It's not going any further. I'd love to play this again. What I'm a bit conscious of is having. I've done it before, and I've got the same game played multiple times. It's just I feel like recording them, and but I'm not sure people really watch them. Well, I do. It's like an hour-long extravaganza. They're fantastic. So I might play this again when I've got the the balance a little tighter. I do want to get these special forces in, and anyway, so we'll see. I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, if you think you can do better than me, then sign up and give it a go. Remember, it'll be slightly different if you do that. So yeah, but it'll be fun. So I'll speak to you later. Bye.